we go. Hello and welcome to the Marine Conservation Happy Hour. I am Dr. Scarlett Smash. There is Dr. Kraken, and here we are live on Facebook. We decided to go live because we always have so much fun on our last drunken rant, right, Dr. Kraken? You can take off that mask. I know you're
thank
hot
goodness.
and boiling.
It's really hot in here. Oh, it's really, really hot. Oh,
it's okay. You're good. That was an awesome costume, by the way.
Yes, I'm Sith apprentice here. Oh, let me take the cloak off too. I have the whole Jedi thing on underneath here.
Okay, so how much was this entire outfit?
I think we're talking a couple of $100
Good
here.
idea.
Couple of $100.
Oh God, your wife is so good to you. She spoils you. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Okay. Well, Dr. Kraken, we're going to talk about the new HBO Reminiscence. So
yes.
It's brand new. It has Hugh Jackman. I love Hugh Jackman. I'm like such a fangirl right over here. I just love him, even though he's like getting older, he's still fabulous. And he is basically, and don't worry, there's no spoilers. We're really gonna just do science fact.
Talk about the science side of things.
Yeah. I mean, and we might not know everything, but it's good to just kind of investigate, like instead of just watching a film and not knowing the accuracy of the science behind it, it's good to question, right? So that's what we're going to do. And so we're not going to do any spoilers at all. It's okay, don't worry, but we're just going to say, so Hugh Jackman is basically investigating where his lover went. What did you say, Dr. Kraken, it reminds you of?
Yeah, it's like a film noir, the sort of the 1930s, 1940s detective where this mysterious woman who just happens to be a jazz singer comes into his office and he falls in love, and there's some sort of mystery, and there's
Roger Rabbit. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Roger Rabbit
yes,
film?
It's like Roger Rabbit, a dark version of Roger Rabbit.
Oh, so good. Dr. Kraken, what are you drinking? And hold on, can we just talk about your really recyclable and sustainable glasses that you've created? How cool
this is a little hobby I've started recently where I managed to get a glass cutter from Amazon, very reasonable. And I've been taking wine glasses, or kombucha bottles actually are very good too. And then you just score the edge with this diamond cutter, and it's set up so you can do a nice even line. And then you basically get a kettle and put hot water on, and then plunge it into ice. Hot water, plunge it into ice. It cracks off because of science, and then you polish it. And lo and behold, you have a nice cocktail glass.
I mean, these are really neat. I would fill my entire cupboard with them if I
I've got another one that needs to be done, so if you want more.
No, like I said, if I had another cupboard, I would totally do it. But maybe we could sell them for Marine Conservation, happy hour products. Who knows? All right, Dr. Kraken, what did you think about this movie?
Well, I still haven't seen the finale yet, so I don't know what happens because I don't want to spoiler anything. But I really like their envisioning of the future.
In Miami.
In Miami, yes. I mean, you get
flooded.
This great opening shot where part of Miami is just flooded, and so it looks like the canals of Venice.
Exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
And then you've got an area there where it's been dammed off, and they're saying, well, any day the dam's going to blow, and there goes our businesses, there goes our livelihood. And they talk about how when the waters came up, that led to border wars, presumably the sort of Mexican border, and they can't go out during the day because they're so
all
hot.
Nocturnal.
They're all nocturnal. I thought it was some really good
thinking that made me think that could happen. I could totally see myself if it got too hot, just starting to stay out at night. I mean, our vitamin D
tell you now, it's
really low,
pretty close.
A lot.
Yeah,
we would be a very, very depressed. I would definitely believe that. But my thing is that, like, okay, so first things think in my head, oh my gosh, what about sewage? What about the gutters? Did you notice that there was still, like, okay, so it basically flooded the first level of every, like,
Yeah.
floor, okay? And there was still furniture. How crazy is that? You would think that people wouldn't take that furniture out while the sea level is rising. I mean, it was just
maybe it was like a
floating there
storm
and
surge.
banging against, like, the walls and stuff like that. That was kind of silly. That was silly, but I liked the concept.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, everyone abandoned it, like the rich people abandoned it,
oh,
and only the poor was living there.
yeah, I really like that. The barons who, when they invested in buying all the dry land, so when the waters actually came in, all the rich people who, frank, frankly, they're the ones who are probably saying, yes, we shouldn't do anything about climate change, blah, blah, blah. But they'd already bought up all the dry land and all the high land already. So I think we should look in places like Florida, who is buying up all that highland property, and see whether or not they're telling people to prepare for climate change or not.
Well, okay, so Venice has actually been working on, like, trying to prevent the sea
Mm.
levels from rising because they're constantly getting flooded. I mean, especially now I mean, you're constantly seeing them get flooded more
Oh, yeah.
often. And they have a barrier, right? They now have a barrier put in place, but it started, and they started building it they constructed it in, like, decades ago, and they didn't actually start it for, like, just only, like, maybe 10 years ago. I mean, we're talking about, like, what about Miami? What about San
Mhm.
Francisco? What about New York? Are we building anything like that? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that that is actually working, because we, it's brand new, and we don't really know what the quality is, and how long and sustainable it will be. But we're talking about billions and billions of dollars, and it took so much time. Are we prepared for something like this?
No, no, absolutely. I mean, they mentioned New Orleans, and they talk about New Orleans, and they had about how there are internment camps because when the waters flooded, what to do with all the people, what to do with all the refugees. That was really, really interesting. There was a movie talking about preparing. There was a movie that had Rutger Hauer, the guy from Blade Runner, and Kim Cattrall from Samantha from Sex and the City.
Oh, love her. She's like my soul sister.
So they had those guys, and I think it was called Floodland. It was set in London in the not too distant future, and it was made in like 1990. So in London, they have the Thames Barrage, which is this
Yes,
big barrier. So
yes.
they were ahead of the curve because they knew that there was going to be problems happening because they listened to scientists in England.
Mhm.
And the idea there was climate change had happened, the sea levels had risen, and water had come into London. So they had this similar sort of thing. It was very dark. A lot of alleyways were full of water. People were using boats to get around. And in that particular movie, there was some sort of like supernatural horror, like a Jack the Ripper alien monster thing that was going around murdering people. So it was like sea level rise plus alien Jack the Ripper. But that one was kind of ahead of its time. It was in the 1990s, and they had thought about that back then.
Hmm.
So yeah, it only took the US 30 years to catch up with those movies.
Okay, so let's say this actually happens. Okay, let's
Mhm.
do the scenario. Okay. Miami floods. All right. Is the infrastructure actually going to be able to sustain that? I mean, come on. I mean,
I
when you look at Venice, there was a lot that was being involved in trying to make sure that it was stable enough. They actually put wood pillars underneath, and in that nice soil, which was nice and soft, it couldn't hold anything heavy, so they had to put all this wood that was not going to get like see any oxygen or any, get it I'm sorry, get exposed to oxygen, right? And then they could build on top of it.
Yeah,
That's
and
not the case for Miami right now.
I mean, in Venice, you have like literally thousands of years of buildings building on top of each other. It's like the Monty Python and the Life of Brian, where they say, "Oh, we built a tower, it sank in the swamp. Built another tower, that sank too. Built another tower on top of the ruins, and that stayed up." Venice is a bit like that. There's like foundations going down and down and down, right down to the bedrock. Whereas in Miami, you really don't have that sort of
No.
super foundation infrastructure,
Yeah.
and they're used to adapting as well. And if
And
you
the
go to
material
buildings
too.
if you go to buildings in Venice, a lot of their basements are underwater, and they just fill them in with concrete and
Well,
put
that's
extra
what I'm saying.
foundations
There's
in.
like
Yeah.
certain water resistant concrete that they put in that area so they knew that that sea level or the tide would rise. But we don't have that in Miami. So then all the salt water is going to go into our bricks and then everything is just going to fall apart.
And with foundations being made of metal and seawater and corrosion and
It just wouldn't
skyscrapers.
be as nice as it looked in the movie.
Yeah. A lot of those buildings would fall down for
Oh, no.
sure. The water would get into the groundwater. It would cause subsidence. Well, in fact, when we were talking at AwesomeCon, one of the demonstrations they had there was on liquefaction, where water gets into the ground and then you have vibrations, earthquake, but it could also be traffic, causes that ground to just turn into liquid because of the vibrations. They'd have that happening for
Like
sure.
erosion,
Yeah,
like okay,
erosion.
so that's why they have gondolas, right? Is because they're not disturbing the ground underneath the water, and
Yeah,
it's not creating erosion, and
and
they
you
actually have areas where you can't have motorboats because it is causing this problem in Venice. And in the movie they all had motorboats.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way. I mean, look at the manatees in Florida. They're killing manatees with motorboats. And does that stop them? No. All the
no,
rich guys
not
are zooming
sustainable.
around in their motorboats. That's not going to stop them. It's going to cause vibrations. It's going to, yeah,
No.
yeah.
So what
It's going
about
to be awful.
sewers? Because
Oh,
in Venice, the water
it's
is
pretty stinky. Pretty stinky in the
basically,
summer. Yeah.
flush the toilet, there it goes in the water. And they have to have nice flowing currents to, get it out. Or, it'll be disease ridden, right?
But
So what's going to happen with Miami's infrastructure when it comes to the sewage? Oh
yeah.
no.
But Venice still has all of this European legislation for sewage treatment. And they do actually have major sewage treatment works on islands off of Venice, which Miami really doesn't have the same sort of infrastructure. They've just got used to piping it out to sea, and Venice has had to deal with problems with cholera and sewage throughout history. And so they've been piping stuff out. They've been trying to deal with their sewage, kind of like London in the 1800s. They realized that there was a big problem with just putting all your poop in the Thames. It leads to disease and it becomes horrible.
Well, now
So they
I
cleaned it
understand
up.
why everyone comes out at night, because if you were coming out during the day with all that heat, woo!
Oh wow, that's gonna be right. That's gonna be right.
No way can anyone feel sexy with that smell around them.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman and his girlfriend on top of the roof.
Is that you
Out
that
at day.
smells?
That's
Or is it me that, or is it the water that smells? I don't know.
yeah. Oh. Have you been eating Brussels sprouts? No. That's just Miami.
Oh no.
Oh,
Asparagus.
nasty.
The asparagus pea and the jeans too. That's another one. Okay. Side
That's
note.
another story.
That's how we play. That's how we do these shows, and then we edit a bunch out. But Dr. Kraken, do you have any more facts that you'd like to share?
I imagine that there's going to be a few more of these sort of environmental type movies coming up. And I think we should look at them very seriously. Day After Tomorrow is a famous movie that I used to show my students, and we used to point out that terrifying. We used to point out that it was somewhat far-fetched, but the whole premise, the slowing down of ocean circulation, and then the northern hemisphere becoming really, really cold. we're kind of actually seeing that. I mean, look at all the really, really cold winters that the UK has seen because of changing in ocean circulation. They're now getting quite concerned that some of these things are happening, although not on the timescale that happened in the movie. And some of the areas where the ice was cracking in the Arctic, which the ice was cracking then in the movie, but now that area is totally ice free around Ellesmere Island. So some of the stuff they predicted has kind of come to pass,
Yeah.
although not necessarily in the same as fast or as dramatic. Certainly
Right.
not wolves running around New York in the near future, but yeah, I some of these science fiction movies we should perhaps be paying more attention
Oh,
to.
absolutely. I agree. And that's the reason why we're starting to do this, right? So if anyone has suggestions and wants us to watch a movie and wants us to look at the science and facts check it, let us know, because that's what Dr. Crack and I are going to be doing more often.
Yeah, yeah, we really need to, apart from anything else, movies, TV shows are a one way that people get their information about science. So we need to fact check to make sure that science is good and tell people about it if it's bad. And if it is good, just also tell them about that too. Yeah, watch this. Great science. For example, The Expanse, fantastic science and science fiction. Wonderful stuff. Uh,
Aquaman.
Aquaman, not so much. Not so much.
All right. Well, Dr. Kraken, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for being here with me, being my co-host. This has been excellent. For everyone that's listening to us, if you have a suggestion, you have a movie that you would like us to watch, please go ahead and put it in the comment, and we would love to watch it and we'd love to discuss it. So thank you so much for joining us, and happy conservation. Bye-bye.